Hey folks, how's it going? This is Iron Seagull here, back with another My Sims 4 wishlist video. And this time, I'm here to talk about boats! 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 Inspired just slightly by How I Met Your Mother, I thought I would do one of these videos dedicated to boats because I really enjoyed them in The Sims 3. Even though they were a little bit janky and glitchy at times, I still think they have a place in The Sims. In my opinion, the ideal Sims game takes advantage of the ground, the water, and the sky in all of our worlds. So far, The Sims 4, well, it pretty much all takes place on the ground, but it hasn't really done much with the water and really nothing with the sky. So I think The Sims 4 does have a lot of room for improvement in terms of taking advantage of all the elements of a world, I guess you could say. The Sims 4 does have a lot of room for improvement in terms of taking advantage of every element of the world in front of you, I guess. Last summer, almost exactly a year ago, I did a wishlist video where I talked about my desire for a swimming skill. And I think that, along with bringing back houseboats and boats just as a mode of transport, go a long way in improving just how to take advantage of the water in this game. I have talked about this in the past with just generally being able to have Sims access the oceans in existing worlds, but I don't think they'll be able to do that, though they did surprise me with The Sims 3. I didn't think they would have been able to add swimming in the oceans after the base game came out. So maybe it is possible, but I'm just going to lower my expectations a little bit. But let's say they were able to implement boats into existing worlds. From a practical standpoint, there actually wouldn't really be too many places you could use boats in a fun way, in my opinion. There might be like a few places, like in the neighborhoods that in Windenburg that have like the big lake, or maybe even like my Shuno Meadows Park, you could like use a rowboat or a paddleboat there. That could be fun, but other than that, I feel like there isn't really too much space in any of the existing worlds to use boats. So I think the best way to go about this is to implement at least one or two new worlds that have a lot of space that has water in it, so then it actually like makes sense to use boats. Another issue would be, once again, just like what I mentioned in my wishlist video about public space editor, those decorative boats are a problem again because, well, how would you make sure that our Sims in their boats wouldn't just clip right through them? And, well, I'm not really too sure about this idea, if it can be done, but if they do manage to implement boats into existing worlds, maybe there's a way to just get rid of those boats with whatever pack boats come with, and just replace those with Sims who are actually traveling around in boats, just like what you would see in The Sims 3. But let's get into some of the fun stuff here. What kind of boats would I like to see? Well, the swan paddle boat definitely has to come back, no question. That was so adorable and I loved using it. Maybe even include a Seagull paddle boat, that'd be fantastic. But yeah, I think we should just have like all the same boat types that we had in The Sims 3. Maybe with a couple more added just to spice things up a little bit. Like have the taxi boats for public transportation, have the motor boats, the rowboats, the sailboats, and of course, the aqua sled. As for new boat types that we did not have in The Sims 3, I'd really love to see canoes and kayaks. I think those would be fun additions because since those boats don't move very fast, then you don't need a massive space to use them in. Plus, you can have more than one Sim in the boat at the same time, so you could have different kinds of interactions, like just chatting, or even doing other interactions like kissing, and I know a lot of you love having new woohoo spots, so maybe they can make boats a woohoo spot. One other boat type they could maybe introduce are airboats. Like, I guess that is kind of random, but I could imagine them fitting in with Willow Creek, especially if they manage to add routable water to existing worlds. One other thing I'd like to bring up is, well, where would we store these boats? And I think we could have two potential options here. We could have those boat trailers return like we did in The Sims 3, maybe even if we didn't get cars back before boats, but I can't imagine that happening. I think they would bring back cars before boats. I think it'd be kind of weird if it was the other way around. But I think another option could be if the world you're in had some kind of marina, maybe you could just store your boat there if you don't have space at your home lot to place your boat. And I guess if all else fails, just shove the boat in your inventory. It's a very Sims thing to do. I think it'd also be kind of interesting if they somehow managed to make the steamboats from Willow Creek usable. Shout out to little Simsy, because I know she loves them steamboats, but yeah, it would be kind of interesting even if it was just kind of like an option to click on the steamboat and take it, and then it would just go into a loading screen. Like only a promenade, especially, because from there, there's already like kind of a spawn point where Sims appear from there, so it is almost like as if they are taking the steamboat to Magnolia Promenade already, but it'd be kind of cool if they were able to add an animation to it. I don't think that will happen though. That's probably a lot less likely than us getting boats in the first place in The Sims 4. I do remember how in The Sims 3, with certain boats, you could actually fish off of them. With The Sims 4, if that were a thing, it's just that we probably wouldn't be able to do that anywhere we wanted, like in The Sims 3, because for some reason in The Sims 4, the fishing spots are tied to objects that you place by the water. So yeah, I don't know, I guess it would still be better than not having the ability to fish from boats at all. You just have to like go up to those fishing spots to fish from a boat, but yeah, that would just be like one feature. It'd be kind of cool to have back, but I can't see them kind of avoiding the fact that it would not be as good as it was in The Sims 3. Of course, I gotta touch upon houseboats as well. I really love to see those back too, even if we only get those in like one world. Because, like they were saying when they were promoting Island Paradise back in the day, it was really cool that you didn't always have to have your house stay in the same place when you're living on a houseboat. If you don't like your neighbors, you could just pull up your anchor and just move to another part of the world and it'd be just fine. And that was pretty cool too, and you can just like cruise around the ocean if you really wanted to. Never have to really stay in one place. To be honest, I'm not really sure what they could do to improve houseboats in The Sims 4. I just know that I want them back. I guess just keep all the features that houseboats had in The Sims 3 and just have a variety of houseboat sizes in whatever world they come in, and have both square hulls and curved hulls available. One other kind of boat type that I didn't mention earlier in this video is windsurfing. I loved windsurfing in The Sims 3 so much. I'd really love to see that come back. Although I feel like I should go into more detail about windsurfing in maybe a separate video about my ideas for a surfing skill, because I think windsurfing could tie into that pretty well too. So there's all my ideas for boats, but how do I think they should be distributed? Well, I think it'll have to come down to them being included in some sort of expansion pack again. I know a lot of people want a Tropical Island game pack, and well, I wouldn't mind seeing that. I also wonder, well, would boats be able to come in a game pack? And I think the answer to that is probably no, because I think boats would be a lot more complicated to implement into the game than even cars, so I don't think boats could come in the game for free, or really anything smaller than an expansion pack. I think it would take a whole ton of effort to put boats in the game, even if they were only able to be put into like one brand new world that has boats in mind. The only other thing I could really think of is maybe, just maybe, they could muster it if they did a game pack that was completely centered on boats. Because I'm trying to think, what kind of theme could boats go with other than a tropical paradise? And I'm really having trouble thinking of it. So it's not just a matter of, oh, I want boats in The Sims 4 and I think they'd be cool and really help expand the usability of all our worlds, but just like, okay, but what else do they really go with, especially if they come in an expansion pack? And I'm just not sure. But that pretty much wraps up another My Sims 4 wishlist video. So overall, as much as I talk about how much I miss cars and really want to see them come back, I miss boats on just about the same level, and I think they could be really beneficial and just fun for the game, even if they get limited to one world. I think it'd still be really fun to have boats in The Sims again. I think they do deserve a place in this franchise. But feel free to let me know in the comment section below what you'd like to see regarding boats in The Sims 4. I will talk to you all later, and have a great day! Thanks for watching!